60 billion naira allegedly printed to share to governors. Ignore Obaseki's reckless claim, Mayaki says. A communication and management consultant, Prince John Mayaki, has excoriated the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki over his recent claim that the federal government, on the instruction of President Buhari, printed a whopping 60 billion naira to share to governors through the Federation Account Allocation Committee as monthly allocation. Wow. He said Obaseki, in making the unsubstantiated claim, did not exhibit decorum or restraint as expected of a leader in his position, nor was he circumspect enough to consider the implications and possible effect of such assertions. Are you worried whether that thing is true or that it is implicating you guys? You need to decide. In a statement on Sunday, Mayaki said Obaseki's unimpressive and quite ordinary career as a stockbroker hardly qualifies him for a seasoned or economic expert and critic. At this point, it is basic knowledge that when you print too much money, you bring inflation. His management of Edo State economy makes for further proof. Under his watch, the state has accumulated foreign loans at an alarming rate without any commensurate improvement or growth. Several schools in the state remain closed, education is poorly funded, health is on life support, and infrastructure has slipped into decay, he says. Wow. Such strong words. Does that not even reflect the whole country as a whole? While admitting that Nigeria's economy requires attention, he noted that the president assumed leadership of the country at the time. Crude oil fell from $100 per barrel during the PDP administration to a record low of $25 per barrel. This, he said, has been made worse by COVID-19 as revenues have been cut and loans obtained to bridge the gap that chart a path for sustainable growth. But this is not peculiar to Nigeria, he argued, saying that the United States has jacked up its national debt to a staggering sum of $28 trillion as the Biden administration ramps up efforts to spur the economy back to pre-COVID growth. The picture of doom and gloom Governor Obaseki painted is not reflective of reality. Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio is about 35%. It's still not good. The World Bank and IMF recommend 55%. A chunk of the obtained loans came from China and they are tied to projects with repayment plans spread out for years. How many years? Because Nigerians are the ones that are going to pay for these things. And will they be the ones that will benefit from it? Written into the contract to ensure reasonable ease. So far, we have not defaulted on any, he said. Mayaki said economic matters are not subject for political reckless talks and described Obaseki's comments as shameful and unbecoming of a governor. Yeah, we should actually be worried because, again, you're not talking about debts and loans that are spread out for repayment plans for years. How many years? Because it's Nigerians that's going to pay this money. And if you think that, you can write off, loans from the Chinese government, don't know, because again, doesn't make sense. Questions too should be asked of the governor's contribution to the national revenue pot as the head of a subnational government. He said that Edo State under Obaseki has racked up debts, nearly tripling the state's foreign debts figures, while it is home to restive youths who are both out of jobs and locked out of schools. Teachers go on strike and the government threatens them. State resources are wasted on political demolitions and other fruitless ventures. He won a second term in September but hasn't assembled a cabinet in April. Wow. He fails in things big and small, Mayaki added. He therefore urged the public to ignore leaders like Obaseki who lack circumspection and are driven only at political gain, even if it comes at the cost of setting the nation on fire. This way in which he criticized Obaseki, can he do the same for Buhari? Because again, I love how, again, if you want to hold people accountable, keep the energy the same. Keep it the same with all the governors and keep the energy the same with your president as well. That's it. That's all that has to happen. Because it's like, you just came and berated this man, but then obviously his claim, because why, you didn't even come out. First of all, what is even annoying is that, or what is even suspicious is that he didn't even come out to decline or say that it is true or false. He didn't do that, which you should do to say it is true or not. Well, you're just criticizing the way he said it, and then again, he literally exposed himself and exposed the guilty conscience. Because again, if you know you didn't do it and it's not true, you will come out and say it did not happen. But then you understand how that what he said will cause worry, and then that made you start giving economic lessons and saying, oh, the ratio for this to this, that no one cares. That is a scary situation. And then you then compared what his national, his addition to the national pot is, and you compare the economic growth and all that in Benin, as you should, as everyone should, and you hold people accountable. Why are you not doing that for Buhari and the whole country at large? Because you'd want to choose when you want to pick and choose when when you want to pick a side that is for your advantage. Doesn't make sense. Somebody here says that, does all you have written down about Obaseki invalidate his claim by Obaseki? Exactly. I don't know why learned people like you like to respond to issues like the unlearned. What you did has no relevance to the issue by Obaseki. Only try to run the man down by proving him wrong. This is why people fail exams. You are chasing shadow than addressing the substantiative issue. Very true. If he came and says the statement is false and prove why it is false, or say the statement is true, prove why it is true, it's a different thing. But all you did, which shows that you're guilty, was run the man down, compare the economics of Edo State, and that's all you did. Literally. Another commenter says, just like that useless one in Kogi State, what a pity, God, where are you? So yeah, the guilty conscience definitely reeked out, because he, instead of, refuting the claim or accepting it, you just run the man down, gave us an economic lesson, which sort of compared the debt to, so he in a way he basically approved that there was a debt, because he said he compared the Nigeria's national debt to its GDP, and about a rate that is recommended and where it should be and where it should not be. And so technically he was basically trying to give a counterclaim to distress Nigerians and make them think it's not even that deep, and invalidate Obaseki by saying he doesn't know how economics work, and he's just a stockbroker and all that. Again, if he's a stockbroker, he would need to know about the economy of a country. So yeah, the guilty conscience definitely reeked out, and it seemed as if he was spending more time trying to convince us what is not. That's it. Someone here says, Obaseki does not deserve to be a governor, disgraced matured mind. Okay, some Nigerians hate the truth when it comes to comparative advantage. You highlight disadvantages in America or Europe, but refuse the important the advantages can benefit Nigerians. Okay, someone says you're not seeing the suffering, right? If this thing had failed under this leadership, there's nothing wrong with Obaseki's statement. You can't sell our oil Commonwealth and share the money, take loan from international financial institutions. Why? What? You see how corrupt the world is? Why are you even giving loans to a country that you know is not able to pay back properly, and you know it's not industrialized enough to be able to pay back, and you're giving these loans? So I don't understand why. Again, this is what happens. You give these people loans, you give them a way to again, it's our choice. It's what you do that at the end of the day. But if you give people loans and give them a way out, they would never necessarily, have the option to do it by themselves and find a solution for themselves. So again, it's like, okay, then there are more beneficiaries, because you know that you can get your share. It's sad. It's sad. But yeah, why, as much as, these international bodies are to blame, again, what's the decision a country makes, it affects the country, and it's the country's decision. So again, we have to be careful who we put into power, and 2023 has to be where we learn our lesson. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.